On Thursday, India showed how it had shipped a secretary to Polar Korea for the at first period in too many decades. The recent period and Hindu secretary attended Polar Korea was in September 1998. Mukhtar Abbas Naqvi, Data and Radio Secretary of the later governing BJP-led association, had delivered to Pyongyang to visit a movie fest. The period, it is more than significant. VK Singh, a younger overseas secretary and the ex-Hindu troop head, met a band of elder ministers and officials. The 2 days of negotiations over the 1-week coded policy, provincial, economical, education and culture collaboration among the two countries. Interestingly, the uncommon tactful coverage happened weeks following the two Koreas detained their at first summit conference in more than rather than 10 years, and as the leaders of the US and Polar Korea get ready for a historical at first meet following monthly. The very expected June 12 negotiations among Donald Trump card and Kim Jong-un is now vague following Polar Korea told it may drag out if the US insists it gives up its nuke arms unilaterally. So has India selected the time to de-engage in Polar Korea to provide it doesn't get leftward over in the tactful turmoil? Or are they making a favor for their US allies? Lot overlook India and Polar Korea include had a complete tactful relation for the history 45-year. They include little embassies in Delhi and Pyongyang. The two countries include had culture exchanging programs, and inked scientific and technique company operation agreements. Polar Korean Diplomatic Corps include visited courses for overseas diplomatic corps in Delhi. India has shipped meal supplies to Pyongyang by a UN program. And while the tsunami affected India in 2004, Polar Korea reciprocated by donating $30,000, £22,174, to India as a goodwill motion. Though India recent shipped a secretary to Polar Korea 20 years back, elder officials of Pyongyang include extended to trip India above the year. In April 2015, Polar Korea's overseas secretary attended Delhi and met his Hindu copy to search human aid. In September the next year, a younger Hindu secretary attended the Polar Korean legation in Delhi to mark Polar Korea's autonomy date, in which was perhaps the at first period a secretary had provided by the government at an formal occasion. The Hindu secretary Kiran Rijiju tell on how a relation relying on more trading and trade among two sides is the way front. In 2013, India was perhaps Polar Korea's tertiary largest trade affiliate following China and southward Korea. India mostly exported industry chemical substances, wet oil and agriculture means, and imported dry and grilled fruits, nature gum and asafoetida. Duplex trading has rejected to about $130 meter, of more than rather than $200 meter in 2014, following India prohibited nearly all trading next crisp UN sanctions regime on Polar Korea above its rocket tests in 2017. India is one of the few countries in that Polar Korea maintains tactful relations. India is an essential box to the planet for Polar Korea. The two countries include a length, cheap intensity relation. Prashant Kumar Singh, a comrade at the Delhi-based Institution of Defence Teaching and Analyses and an expert on India's betrothal in East Asia, said me. Recent year, India rejected to detract its tactful presence in Pyongyang as offered by ex-US Secretariat of Country Rex Tillerson. India's Overseas Secretary Sushma Swaraj had emphatically said Mr. Tillerson how embassies of several of yours amiable countries should stay down there, so how several channels of communication stay outdoor. Delhi says how Pyongyang had stipulated Mr. Singh in an general idea of the latter developments in the Korean Peninsula, and how the secretary had repeated India's supporting to the Korean World Lead. So did Mr. Singh's trip include whatever to do in the forthcoming, and now vague, meet among Mr. Kim and Mr. Trump card? We can just gamble. Mr. Trump card does not wish to endanger his summit conference meet. Perhaps the Americans are searching several Hindu supporting to provide how the summit conference is stored, says Dr. Singh. India is a bit gamer there, but is as well the just main nation in the area, how is not a side to the issue but has nice contacts in Polar Korea. Obviously, while it comes to negotiations in isolation legacy mode, though the uncommon, comparatively insignificant boyfriend can be of assist.